Thank you, Mother. The Right Honorable Speaker, the Leader of Minority, represented by the Deputy, Honorable Robert Mbui, our Deputy Speaker, Clerk of the National Assembly, Honorable Members, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Honorable Speaker, when Robert was presenting, I asked myself, and I was looking at Honorable Owen I to see if his level of psychophancy would get to that of Robert Mbui, because you heard when Robert Mbui was concluding the remarks, he read from the Right Honorable Junet Mohammed, Leader of Minority. So, and I hope there are lessons you are learning. Happy New Year. I'm indeed happy, Honorable Speaker, to have the privilege and honor to address these honorable members this early in the year as we transition into the 5th session of the 13th Parliament. And as I've been said by the speakers who've spoken ahead of me, this session does represent a very defining phase and a critical phase in the life of our 13th Parliament. And it's a phase where we must all work together to consolidate the work that we have done over the last 3 or so years, or 2.5 to 3 years, and also complete all the pending work that is ahead of us. And I think, as you've heard from the Leader of Minority and the Clerk, there is quite a bit of pending work. And also decisively deliver on our legislative agenda that will be before us as a House. And this retreat indeed offers all of us together that opportunity for the National Assembly to provide leadership in refining our legislative agenda and our program as we strengthen oversight over the executive and other arms of government, and also to ensure that our work does translate into tangible results for the people that we represent, the people who honorably elected us to come and represent them in the National Assembly. Honorable members, therefore, as we take stock of the journey that we have come over the last 3 or so years in the 13th Parliament, we must recognize that the 5th session represents a very decisive phase for us. And this is a moment that will shape how this Parliament will be remembered ultimately. And I therefore urge you to enter this session with focus, immense discipline, and commitment to secure both our individual and collective legacies in the 13th Parliament as we begin at the beginning of next month. Honorable members, as we reflect on the 4th session, I commend you for the diligence that you all put in and fulfilled the National Assembly's mandates of legislation, representation and oversight, as well as appropriation. And during the session, the House held a total of 116 sittings. And you see from the presentation here the number of bills that we were able to consider, about 49 bills, out of which 23 were concluded. A total of 210 motions, out of which 150 were concluded, petitions 64, and 28. And with that, you see the issues that the Clerk of the National Assembly was speaking to. Probably at the end of this session, we should be asking ourselves whether indeed the Petitions Committee is doing us well and in terms of processing of petitions that come to us, and or whether we will need to review our standing orders as we come to the end of this 13th Parliament. Questions, again, with the changes to the standing orders and statements, you see there are quite a number, 130, 76 were answered, and must commend chairs of committees and committees that put in a lot of work to consider many of these questions and statements.